The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is Monday, so we got a brand new month, a brand new week, and a brand new schedule for our interest group. So anyway, tonight is our support group with Dominic Martin, and that will be at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So y'all come on out and check us out. It's always a good group. So I recommend if you want to just come in and hang out and get to know some of the folks in the Blind United community. That's one good way to do it. We always have quite a few people in there. So, come check that out tonight at 6 p.m. So, anyway, it is Monday. We are now in the month of June. So, right quick, you had a good weekend, Kel?
I did, Ed. I really did. Hung out with some good friends, Danny and Mimi, and, just did a few nice things while the weather was pretty nice. So, I am not going to complain. What about yourself?
I stayed in the house and sat up under this AC. It was right around 100 degrees here all weekend. So I just stayed in and stayed out of the heat. So
I don't blame you. Y'all were a lot warmer than we were. I think we hit maybe 85 at the high, maybe a little bit over that, I'm sure, but with a heat index, but nothing compared to you, so I don't blame you.
I don't even turn my hair on until it get over to 85 or so.
Right.
So, but anyway, it is what it is. It's it ain't like it's anything new. The only thing that's new about it is we're used to this kind of heat in May.
Right.
But anyway, it is what it is. It's the climate is constantly adjusting, so we're going to have to deal with it and move on. So,
true.
But anyway, let's jump into this first article. This first article is, I don't know if you've been noticing or whatever, there's a lot of people ain't happy with what's going on in America, and they're actually giving up their citizenship. So check this out, and we'll be back on the other side.
Hello, Blind United crew. Grab your first cup and join the BU crew in this first article. Today, we're diving into a topic that's been gaining increasing attention: the recent uptick in Americans choosing to give up their U.S. citizenship. While it might sound like a drastic step, a combination of factors, both financial and personal, are driving more individuals to make this significant life change. It's a trend that reflects evolving relationships between people and their home country in an increasingly globalized world. Historically, taxation has been a primary driver, and it continues to be a major factor. The U.S. is one of only 2 countries in the world that taxes its citizens on their worldwide income, regardless of where they live. For American expatriates, this means navigating complex U.S. tax laws and reporting requirements like FATCA, Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, and FBR, Report of Foreign Bank and Financial Accounts, even if they're already paying taxes in their country of residence. This dual obligation can become an overwhelming financial and administrative burden, leading many to feel that the complexities and costs simply outweigh the benefits of holding U.S. citizenship. However, recent trends indicate that the reasons extend far beyond just taxes. A growing number of individuals are citing political and social factors as major motivators. Concerns over the increasing political polarization in the U.S., disagreements with specific social policies, such as those concerning LGBTQ plus rights or reproductive rights, and a general sense of social instability are prompting some to seek more stable and politically aligned environments abroad. Events like recent elections or ongoing debates on sensitive issues can exacerbate these feelings, leading to a desire to disassociate from the U.S. political landscape. Beyond politics, economic pressures and the pursuit of a better quality of life are also significant influences. Many Americans are increasingly looking at the escalating cost of living within the U.S., including housing and healthcare expenses, and finding more affordable or accessible alternatives overseas. There's a growing desire for improved work-life balance, access to more affordable education, or simply a different pace of life that some believe is harder to achieve in the United States. Dissatisfaction with job prospects or a desire for new career opportunities abroad also plays a role for some. For those who have built lives, careers, and families in other countries, renouncing U.S. citizenship can also be about fully embracing their new identity and ties to their adopted homeland. It simplifies their financial life, reduces bureaucratic hurdles, and aligns their national identity with where they genuinely feel they belong. While the process itself can be costly and complex, involving fees and potential exit taxes, the increasing number of renunciations suggests a strong underlying motivation to cut ties. This growing trend offers a fascinating look into how global realities, personal values, and national identity intersect. It underscores that citizenship is not just a legal status, but often a deeply personal connection, one that individuals may reassess based on a wide array of evolving circumstances. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about these recent trends in Americans giving up their citizenship? Do any of these reasons resonate with you, or have you observed other factors? Share your comments below. Now back to the BU crew for their thoughts.
Well, my first thought is, okay, man, it must be great to have the economic freedom to relocate to another country if that's what you choose. I mean, that's got to be, a major undertaking within itself. You know what I'm saying? Just to, to pack up all your stuff. I mean, what do? You leave it here and start all over when you get there? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you had the money, you got the ability to pack up everything and take it with you. But, and then the way some of this stuff is coming down, I mean, they say America is one of two countries. I wonder what the other country is, probably UK or something like that. But anyway, where you have to pay dual taxes. You know what I'm saying? So, if I'm living in UK now, I got to pay taxes in America and UK. Well, I mean, if you're holding on to that citizenship of America, you got to pay American taxes regardless where you live, according to what I'm hearing in the article. And that's that's crazy. I didn't really know all that, but it also adds to, again, another reason why people want to leave. I mean, this is taxes is something that we're not doing voluntarily. It's a mandatory thing. I mean, I don't think anybody would pay taxes if they wasn't required to. Come on, think about it. We don't really have a choice. I mean, most people got a regular job and all that stuff come right out of their taxes before they even get their money, right? I think about, me when I was doing contract work. I'm getting 1099 and I still got to pay taxes. I mean, of course, I can, work out all my deductions and whatever on the other end before I pay my taxes and try to get it down as much as I possibly can. But again, I still got to pay those taxes, so. And then, like you say, the political climate, I mean, this guy is something else. Running a lot of people out of here, just, all the stuff he's trying to do socially and change everything around. And man, it's just, people that are looking for a more diverse and inclusive society to live in. He's taking this country in the opposite direction. He wants it to be, something that's not inclusive and not, uh, 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 diverse, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's sad. It's really really sad that people are giving up their citizenship for this stuff. But again, I mean, it must be nice to have the ability to be able to do that. I mean, there's so many of us right here in America that can't afford to move from one city to the next, let alone another country. So, man, I guess for the least of thee, we're gonna have to suffer through it. So, anyway, what you got, Carol?
I mean, I kind of agree with you. If I could afford to possibly, pack up and leave, it was an article that was played on Blind United once before, where I would have to actually find a place that was going to be able to accommodate me being a blind person. So I guess China would be some place that I would go, but I would have to be able to afford to be there. And like you say, a lot of people unfortunately just can't even move from one city to the next within the same state. So it's just, I don't think I would be forced to be that drastic to leave, my citizenship or give it up. But it's just unfortunate the way that things have just turned out. You would think that this world would change to become better, but it seems like the changes are actually becoming worse. And it's a sad, sad state that we're living in right today, to where people are just not able to afford to even eat or reside in a place comfortably or safely, or just be able to provide an education for their children that are coming up, a future that you would actually want to be able to be prosperous in as a citizen. And I get that people want to leave just based on what we are seeing today, but again, you have to be able to afford to be able to do that. And like you said, I did not know that you would have to pay taxes somewhere else. A lot of people, unfortunately, can't even afford to do the taxes here, but you're forced to do it. It's not like we have a choice. And if we had a choice, of course we wouldn't do it. I mean, every little penny counts wherever you can place it. And you want to place it to something that is beneficial to you or your family or loved ones. So I don't know if I would go that drastic to, give up my citizenship, but I definitely understand why people are choosing to do that just based on the state of the world that we live in right today. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I've seen quite a few videos of people that have basically kind of relocated down into Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and it hasn't said anything about them giving up their citizenship per se, but they are definitely able to live a lot better down there. Uh, uh, and most of them that I see, they're not necessarily going to the metropolitan areas of Mexico. They're going out more into the villages, where it's more of a small town atmosphere with very little, public transportation, if any, right?
Right.
But I mean, they living good lives down there, So, uh, I mean, again, I did never seen anything about anybody giving up their citizenship, but I mean, just that. I mean, you think about it. An average person, Social Security, whatever. I mean, again, there's various amounts that we receive depending on how much you've worked and how much you paid into the system, and so on and so forth. But I mean, to be forced to go to another country and use that income just so you can afford to have a place to live and plenty of food and all your medicines or whatever it is you need, you know, uh, uh, health care and all this other kind of stuff, it could be pretty appealing to a certain number of, folks. So, but anyway, right quick, Monica said good morning. And then Brother Daniel in Idaho, he says good morning as well. So good morning to both of y'all.
Good morning.
So But I mean, again, it's just crazy, man. I mean, you would think that America would be, because we are the melting pot of the world in essence. You would think we would be more accommodating, and okay, well, maybe if you're working out of the country, maybe you don't have to pay the same tax rate as people working in country. I mean, I don't know. There's got to be some sort of a thing that makes it to where people, because a lot of these specialty jobs now, I mean, again, especially when you get into tech, I mean, you're contract workers. You might work over in this country for 3-4 months. You might go to a different country for another few months, whatever. So, I mean, it's not like you're just based out of America anymore. You're now almost a citizen of the world because you're moving around doing these, specialty jobs where, wherever they're willing to pay you to do that, So I don't know. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. I mean, it's funny. I mean, we had the Revolutionary War, when we separated from the British, was all about taxes. And nobody wanted to pay taxes. But as soon as the war started, they realized, wait a minute, we need taxes. How we going to finance this war without taxes? You know what I'm saying?
And it hasn't stopped.
And it hasn't stopped. I mean, understanding that, you understand the reasoning for taxes. But at the same time, there's just so much going on with that. There's so much corruption going on. There's so much, like we talked about people, political folks, directing money to their district, and then they take that money and they earmark it to do improvements where it's near their property, where they're going to benefit from that. You know what I'm saying? And then once that property that they own is doubled in value due to the improvements that you just use government money to do, now you just made a profit off the government. And that's not right. So I mean, that's another reason a lot of people probably bouncing. So I mean, again, we got to figure out a way to get this done. I mean, I know the American democracy is an experiment, and the beauty of it is we can adapt and adjust as we move forward. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But again, when you got people, corrupt people in places of power, then they do everything they can to block those, things that may come up there and prevent them. Like, for instance, we know folks in Congress and the Senate and whatever, they're not supposed to deal with the stock market. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff is supposed to go into a blind trust to where you have somebody else taking care of that, not you. You can't, because you have an inside knowledge as to what's going on, and it's just not fair for you to play in the stock market knowing what's going on in Congress that could change the way the stock market reacts, So it's just another one of them issues. But anyway, that's our first article for today. So I'm going to jump into these promos, and then we'll be back in a minute, and we'll get into our second article.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United. You can go to customcane.com. That's custom with a K, guys. And what Custom Cane does is they sell cane and cane accessories. It's like Burger King. You can have it your way. You can get a pink cane, a blue cane, a rainbow cane, a Broncos cane, a Chargers cane, a cane with the Braille alphabet, a cane with your name on it. Whatever you want, whatever type of handle you want, whatever type of tip you want. If you want an aircraft aluminum cane, if you want an all-terrain cane, telescoping cane, any type of cane, custom cane has it.
Well, again, I always acknowledge Jimmy and all the great work he does with the You Can't Give thing. But long before he started that, he had custom cane. And again, I've been a loyal customer of his since I first found out about him. And I don't know, I got like 5 or 6 different canes now, and they're all different. They're all custom. They're all, speak to my, personality or whatever you want to call it, But again, I just like carrying a custom cane, and Jimmy's got whatever you need, whether it's a whole brand new cane created, the way you want it, or maybe you just need some custom accessories, like maybe a cane sheath to put your cane in, or maybe you still got a little bit of vision and you could use, a little bit of help with some light at night, and you don't want to walk around carrying a flashlight. He's got lights that you can clip to your cane, so you got that little extra light out in front of you as you're walking with your cane to light up the sidewalk or whatever, just to help you out if you still got a little bit of usable vision. So, but anyway, whatever it is that you want to do with your cane, Jimmy can make that happen for you. So get at him and check it out. And then remember, as always, all proceeds from custom cane will go to help You Can't Give, and putting the canes in the hands of people that can't normally get a cane. So do everything you can to help out, whether it's donate to Jimmy directly, donate an old, used, or broken cane, or, go in and be in vain like I am and go buy you a custom cane, whatever. He got some really good canes. I really, really love my all-terrain cane. Man, that's really a good cane. That's the best cane I've ever owned so far. So anyway, let's get into this next one. This article here is, a bit controversial, but at the same time, I believe everybody has the right to live, their best life. And, just because folks are wired a little bit different doesn't make, that's not an excuse to shut them out of society. So anyway, let's check this out and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Hello, Blind United crew. Grab your second cup and join the BU crew in this second article as we turn our attention to a prominent national discussion that highlights the evolving landscape of sports and inclusion. Today, we're looking at the situation involving transgender high school athlete A.B. Hernandez, whose participation in recent track championships has ignited a widespread debate and drawn federal attention. A.B. Hernandez has found herself in the national spotlight following her participation under newly adjusted meet rules. This has led to significant reactions, including reports of a federal investigation and threats from President Donald Trump to withhold federal funding from California over her inclusion. This situation has reignited conversations around what constitutes fair play, sex discrimination, and how to ensure equitable participation for all athletes. At the heart of this discussion is the question of inclusion in competitive sports, particularly as it pertains to transgender athletes. Supporters of A.B. Hernandez's participation emphasize the importance of allowing all individuals to compete in alignment with their gender identity, promoting an environment of acceptance and respect. They argue that excluding athletes based on their gender identity can be discriminatory and detrimental to their well-being, hindering their ability to experience the benefits of sports participation, such as teamwork, discipline, and personal growth. On the other hand, critics often raise concerns about competitive fairness, pointing to perceived biological advantages and the impact on cisgender female athletes. This perspective argues for maintaining what they view as a level playing field and suggests that current rules may not adequately address these concerns. The debate often involves complex scientific, ethical, and social considerations without easy answers. The involvement of federal funding threats and investigations underscores the high stakes and the deep divisions surrounding this issue across the country. It pushes the conversation beyond individual athletes and into the realm of state and federal policy, prompting a broader examination of legal interpretations of sex discrimination and equity in educational and athletic settings. This kind of widespread debate reflects the challenges society faces when navigating complex social changes and striving to create policies that are both fair and inclusive for diverse populations. While the specifics of the situation are unique to sports, the underlying themes of inclusion, discrimination, and the pursuit of fairness resonate with broader discussions about access and equal opportunity across various aspects of life. It compels us to consider how rules and policies are developed and adapted to ensure that all individuals have the chance to participate and thrive. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this complex topic. What are your reflections on the ongoing debate regarding inclusion and fairness in sports, particularly for transgender athletes? We encourage a thoughtful and respectful discussion in the comments below. Now back to the BU crew for their thoughts.
Well, I mean, again, first and foremost, again, I believe, regardless, every human on the planet has, the right to be able to live their best life, and just because, you see things in a different way. I mean, and just to be clear, I'm not an expert on any of this. I don't even know, is transgender someone that has already gone through all of the operations and hormone therapies, or is it just somebody that just identifies as a different, as a, what I mean, as a male, and then now all of a sudden he identifies as a female. I don't know if that's necessarily considered transgender. I always thought transgender again was someone who received, the operations and all the hormone therapy. I mean, they're casting doubt on, the actual genetics of this. I mean, as to whether males are genetically stronger than females or whatever. So they got an issue with, transgender males playing within a female sport. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I don't have all the answers to it. I just know that, again, everyone has a right to be free and be who they are. And if that's what this is about, then cool. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know how to really call this one. I mean, I want everybody to be included and to have the right to be able to do all this stuff at the same time. I mean, I kind of get it if it is a fact that, males do have that genetic, uh, strength over the genetic strength of a female, then it makes perfect sense. You don't want, somebody that's was born a male, which if may possibly be able to run faster or be stronger or whatever the case may be, because then the transgender males in the sport are gonna win all of the female medals and set records and all that other kind of stuff. I don't know. I really don't know, but I know there's got to be a solution to this, and trying to push people back into the closet, for lack of a better term, or, consider them to be a sub society is not the answer, So anyway, again, I just think everybody has the opportunity. They should have the opportunity to live their best life and be who they are. So anyway, that's what I got, Carol.
I got you. And I agree with you. I think that everyone has the right to enjoy their life and live their best life. I'll be real transparent here. I am Black, I'm blind, I am lesbian. have been my whole life. Now I am a dominant lesbian, so I wear, masculine clothes. I have a dominant personality. I'm attracted to females that are feminine. But I'll be, real honest. I have transgender friends, and I, the definition that I understand is they have not, a lot of them have not had the surgery, but they do take hormones. Now, I'll be real honest, I don't understand a lot of it, even though I am in that lifestyle. It's ironic that you play this story during June because June is Pride Month. But a lot of it, I don't understand. But I don't think that they should be excluded just because I don't understand it. And I am in that realm, the LGBTQA, community. Um, I just believe that if they are not taking hormones and they are just dressing as a female, they technically still are male. So if they're trying to participate in a female sport, they are going to be stronger. They still have testosterone. They can run faster. They have muscles that women do not. But if they are taking estrogen that is getting rid of the testosterone, then they are becoming female, and vice versa. They're getting rid of the estrogen and taking the testosterone. I may not, understand because my mind is not set that way, but it does not mean that they do not have the right to be able to live their best life. And if they want to participate in sports, I think that they should be able to. It's a big, big issue. And, a lot of people may not agree with any of it or may not understand it, even in the realm of me. But it does not make me feel any different about anyone trying to do and belong and enjoy their life in sports or whatever it is that they choose to do with their life, regardless of what people may think. So I just, hope that the world will open up because it's a much different world now than when I was coming up. Things are more out in the open, and they even have TV shows out now where everyone back in my day, 70s, 80s, closeted. You could always see, there's tomboys in me and different things that you would see, but it's not like it is today. So I believe that everybody has the right to live their best life, regardless of, the exclusion that others may place on top of them, but that's just my opinion only.
Right. Well, I mean, and again, a lot of things come to question. Number one, as you stated, okay, transgender means that you have started the process.
Right.
I'm assuming.
Yes.
And maybe one of the answers is that, okay, you're not allowed to play sports until you've completed the process.
Gotcha.
That way, maybe, you're now clinically a female, if that makes sense.
It does. Now,
Plus,
when you're clinically considered a female, though, if you're taking the estrogen, you're going to start growing the breasts. But a lot of them
right.
do not have the surgery, genitalia surgery, because that's very expensive. But they're still acting and behaving like a woman. They just still have their penis.
Well, and again, for me, on that note, it brings up another, touchy situation, right?
Right.
So we got somebody that's in the process and they're doing, the hormone therapy and stuff, like you say, growing breasts and, converting their DNA per se,
Mm-hmm.
but still have male genitalia.
Yes.
I wouldn't want them in the locker room with a bunch of women.
Of
I mean,
course.
that's not cool. So again, I go back to maybe only those that have completed all of the necessary procedures should be allowed to play. That way that we know that they are now male or female, according to what, gender identity or gender relocation, whatever they call it, all of the
Reassignment. But a lot of that
reassignment.
is illegal right now, just based on the laws that have occurred. And, that's the big thing that a lot of people are really, fighting and debating about is, you don't want someone that has breasts but a penis to go into the restrooms with women, but they're not child abusers. They're not pedophiles. They're just individuals that are trying to live their best life. You don't find very, people that are pedophiles that are in there. They may still stand up to pee, but I
Well, just to be
understand
clear,
exactly
that's
what you're
not to
talking
say,
about.
just to be clear, that's not to say that there are not some among them.
That's true.
It's just that it's not prevalent within the LGBT community,
That is true. That is true. Because
so
I don't know all of, the true stories of what may be there, because it may be like with anyone, you know. But that's the big issue. And a lot of times right now, the sexual reassignment, it's illegal, to where they're stopping that with children because they feel like they just have not developed mentally to decide if that is truly what they want to be. Now, I personally can say I knew. I knew as a child that something was not right with me. But, and that's back in the day. I knew my mind was not the same. I liked girls from 7. That's when I told my mother about it. And of course she took me to church to have an olive oil cross put on my head, and the preacher tried to pray a demon out of me. But I knew as a child I was lesbian. I just didn't know what it was called. So children know. You see it. Grown people see it in children. You just pray they grow out of it. You can see the little sweetness in a little boy or the little dominant in a little girl. You see it, but you pray that they grow out of it. And when they don't, you're not surprised, but it's out there. So I don't understand the mentality of wanting to actually change my sex to be a man, but that doesn't mean that it does not exist, because it does. And if an individual is comfortable with their lifestyle to where they're ready to do that and transition, uh, I believe, just like you're saying, they have to, have that everything done. If you're going to be in a man's sport, you have to have a penis, but that's hard for a woman to do surgically. She can remove her breasts, but it just, they don't work. But a man can remove his penis to make it a vagina. I know this is graphic and probably going into some serious detail, but as children having, sports, uh, it's illegal to do that now. So I don't know what the future is going to hold for that and how that is going to be done. But it's just a real touchy thing. But I believe that they should be able to participate if they choose to. But it's a fine line of walking that line to figure out how it's going to work out.
I guess ultimately, I mean, besides, regardless of what they work out as far as, being able to participate in sports and all this other stuff, ultimately it still all comes down to, the freedom of being able to do what you want to do with your body.
I agree.
Just like, they want to stop ladies from, having abortions and all this stuff. No, that's a woman's body. She has the right to decide if she wants to carry this child or not.
Right.
Just like, whether you're male or female, you have the right to decide whether you want to perform any of these surgeries. I just made the statement that, unless you have gone through all of the procedures and all of the therapy to become, that which you wish to become, then you can't participate in the sports,
Gotcha.
But other than that, I mean, if you just want to identify as a female and dress up in jag, go ahead, go for it.
Right.
Want to go do the hormone therapy stuff just so you can basically do the same thing, but still maintain your male genitalia or whatever the case may be, then go for it. But if you plan on taking it to the next level and getting into sports, you know, maybe it's something that, we don't necessarily want to pay that much attention to, especially when we're talking about college sports. I mean, I'm sorry, this one here was high school, you know, but I would say it definitely needs to, have some guidelines and regulations and rules in place, especially if you're going to get into pro sports.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And right now, there are no transgender folks playing within pro sports. Now, there are gay folks that participate in pro sports.
Yes, yes.
But nobody has gone through any of this stuff to, actually change their body.
So, I agree.
But anyway, so hopefully folks understand it's just conversation. I mean, again, I look at this as another society thing. Throughout our history, we've gone through different societal barriers. Think about it. When, black folks wasn't allowed to use the same restroom or drink out the same water faucet, it wasn't just black folks. It was other nationalities as well that had to go through that same stuff. It was more prevalent, within the black community where they were showing, where they didn't want the black folks to do this and do that. But again, it's just another civil rights thing that we're going to have to overcome. And sooner or later, it's going to come to where there's going to be a defining moment and all that stuff is going to be worked out. So I just hope we get to that sooner rather than later. And also that, as it turns out, people will hopefully end up being able to have the freedom to do what they want to do with their body. So anyway, let's jump into these last two promos and we'll grab our last article on the other side.
Okay.
Did you know Blind United offers free training in assistive technology? We call them interest groups. We offer training in JAWS, NVDA, iPhone, iPad, as well as Meta Ray-Bans. We also have groups like support group, cooking groups, and crafting groups. There are also groups for entertainment like movie night and RS game night. For more information about all the interest groups that we offer, just email us at info@blindunited.org or visit our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Group. We would love to have you be part of the Blind United crew.
June 21st, got a vibe so right. Come through the service and a day tonight. It's Blind United, yeah, we're bringing the flair. Crafts and colors floating in the air. Jewels that shine, lotion so smooth. Mosaics, baked goods, handmade grooves. You don't wanna miss this artful affair. Blind made magic, love everywhere. Jewel that shine, lotion so smooth. Mosaics, baked goods, handmade grooves. You don't wanna miss this artful affair. Blind made magic, love everywhere. You want a table, just 25 bucks. Bring your vision, your craft, your luck. Vendors welcome, come show your pride. Let your work shine, let your soul ride. It's more than a fair, it's a moment to share with a community that truly cares. So email us now, don't miss your spot. info@blindunited.org, we got a lot. Jewels that shine, lotion so smooth. Mosaics, baked goods, handmade grooves. You don't wanna miss this artful affair. Blind made magic, love everywhere. So come vibe with the crew, enjoy the day. Blind United has got it set our way. June 21st, bring your smile and light. Art and love, yeah, we'll shine so bright.
All right. Well, as we've been saying for a minute now, you got until the 10th of June I believe that is actually next Tuesday, not tomorrow, but next Tuesday. If you want a table anyway. But if not, you got about 3 weeks to stack up your little chips and come on out and support and hopefully pick up some items that you really, really looking for. I know there's going to be quite a few. I think that right now, I think there's at least 3 or 4 different vendors that will be selling handmade jewelry as well. So there's probably going to be quite a bit of jewelry there as well as, many other products. But that's just one of the main things that, crafting folks do. So anyway, this next one is all about, I know we've been talking about it here on Blind United since it first started getting released to the public as far as doing AI. And this one here is all about, AI and what it's going to do to the job market. So check this out and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Hello, Blind United crew. Grab your third cup and join the BU crew in this third article, because today we're tackling a major conversation shaping our future, the potential impact of artificial intelligence, AI, on the job market. Recent statements from leading AI experts and new surveys suggest significant shifts could be on the horizon, prompting us all to think about how we can adapt and thrive in an evolving workforce. The CEO of one of the world's leading artificial intelligence labs recently shared a bold prediction. He believes that AI could eliminate as much as half of all entry-level, white-collar jobs, potentially leading to a spike in unemployment in the very near future. This isn't just one person's opinion. A recent survey found that a notable 41% of employers are already planning to downsize their workforce by 2030, citing AI as the reason. These figures, while concerning for many, underscore the speed at which AI technology is developing and its potential to reshape industries. So, how might this AI revolution affect jobs? AI excels at automating repetitive, rule-based, or data-intensive tasks. This includes things like data entry, routine customer service inquiries, basic legal research, or even certain aspects of financial analysis. Jobs that primarily involve these kinds of tasks are often the most susceptible to automation. The fear is that as AI tools become more sophisticated, they will be able to perform these functions faster and more efficiently than humans, leading companies to reduce their need for human employees in those roles. However, it's also important to consider the nuanced picture. Historically, technological advancements have always disrupted some jobs while creating entirely new ones. The rise of computers, for example, eliminated many manual roles, but birthed entire new sectors like software development, cybersecurity, and data analysis. The same could be true for AI. While AI might automate routine tasks, it could also free up human workers to focus on more complex, creative, or interpersonal aspects of their jobs that require uniquely human skills. The key to navigating this potential shift lies in adaptation and continuous learning. If AI is set to handle the more repetitive tasks, then the demand for skills that AI currently struggles with will likely increase. These include critical thinking, problem-solving, creativity, emotional intelligence, complex negotiation, and strategic decision-making. For the blind and visually impaired community, this could mean focusing on leveraging our existing strengths in areas like creative problem-solving and communication, while also embracing new training in AI literacy and collaboration. Understanding how to work with AI, rather than competing against it, will be crucial for maintaining economic independence and finding empowerment in the future workforce. The conversation around AI and jobs isn't about an apocalypse, but rather a call to understand and prepare for a significant transformation. By being proactive, embracing lifelong learning, and focusing on uniquely human capabilities, we can navigate these changes and potentially unlock new opportunities in an AI-powered world. We'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you feel about the potential impact of AI on jobs, and what steps do you think individuals or communities can take to prepare for these changes? Share your comments below. Now back to the BU crew for their thoughts.
Well, is it going to change the job market? Yes, absolutely. It's going to change the job market. I mean, again, AI is doing, as it says, some of these more repetitive tasks at a much faster rate than we can do it. I mean, AI has changed my life tremendously. I mean, it doesn't help me alleviate my responsibilities, but it does alleviate the time it takes me to deal with those responsibilities because it's able to help me perform those tasks a lot faster. So I mean, I agree. We need to learn to work with it, or as I always say, you need to learn how to use it before it learns how to use you.
Hmm.
I mean, again, this stuff ain't going nowhere. It is here to stay. And the more we know about it, the more knowledgeable we are about it, the better we are able to use it, the better off we're going to be as time moves on. I mean, again, all of these jobs are doing some of this repetitive, stuff. Man, y'all need to get with this AI because, again, somebody's got to develop these models. Somebody's got to deliver these, develop these platforms. I mean, nowadays they got AI platforms for legal stuff. You can, I mean, they're actually settling uh, lawsuits with this stuff now. You know what I'm saying? They're doing the analyzation. I mean, they got medical where you can fill in all of the all your symptoms and your medical history and all of even your family history, and it can help you out on the medical side of it. I mean, there's just so many different things that AI has the capability of doing to where it just makes sense to learn how to work with it rather than try to fight against it. Plus by working with it, now we can set up those guidelines and guardrails so we don't end up with a Skynet or one of them other, conspiracy type movies that we've had, where AI literally tries to take over. I mean, like I said, what was it in Terminator? In what was the other one? The Matrix. I mean, the list goes on. There's several movies that shows how AI eventually could take over. I mean, I look at those movies as a warning now that
Mm-hmm.
AI is here. You know what I'm saying? So again, I say get with it before it gets with you. What you think,
I,
Jeff?
I mean, I agree with you. AI, it's done wonders for me. I Be My Eyes, seeing AI, Pixie Bot, and now with the new Meta Ray Bans, just eventually trying to get used to all of these things that can just make my life so much easier. Now, the part of the story that I did not like is, it's taking a lot of people's jobs away. I mean, they even have, I think now, AI in the operating room where they have these robots that are doing surgeries now, and it's a little more efficient, cleaner, but it's taking people's jobs. And you're right. A lot of the young generation, they need to learn how to do these things because it's going to be our future. It's not going away. But the individuals that have been on jobs for a long time, and now, I mean, you see it in your grocery store, all of the self-checking and stuff. We're working harder for free, but it's taking individuals jobs away that are dependent on some form of income to just have a livelihood for themselves and their families. So that's the part that I don't like about it. But it is a little bit more efficient. When you call in, sometimes I do want to talk to a real person. So I'll say, Representative, I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Representative, but sometimes on some of the calls, you are actually being charged to talk to someone, which is crazy, but it's just, it's there and it's not going anywhere. So like you say, you better get with it or it's going to get with you. So I agree with you on that part. It's needed, but, I hate that it's taking away a lot of, productive individuals that need some form of income, their income away. So.
Well, I mean, I agree, but at the same time, like I said, it opens up the door for newer jobs.
True.
Some of these folks might just have to go back to school, be retrained, and learn how to do some of this stuff. Again, I agree, it's going to take some jobs. It probably won't produce as many as it takes away. But just to be clear, I'm sorry, but that was a bad example, Carol. Them robots are not performing that surgery by themselves. It
No,
is
it
a
is someone.
doctor.
Yeah, it is a doctor that is doing it.
Right.
You're right.
Now, if AI was performing that surgery, then we'd have an argument, right?
Right, right, right.
But what's amazing to me is the one of the devices that does that, what you're speaking of, the robot itself, the system is called a Da Vinci.
Okay.
And a buddy of mine, one of the guys that comes on here does one of the interest groups for us. I'm not going to put his name out there because I'm not trying to put his business out there like
Right.
that. But
Right.
bottom line, he just had a surgery performed and they used that Da Vinci. And he said the doctor literally sticks his hands inside of a gel type material.
Mm-hmm.
And then he manipulates the movement of the Da Vinci by moving his hands within that gel type material.
Oh, wow. Now, see,
So
I didn't know how it worked. I just, I had a friend that had back surgery where that type of machine did her surgery. So I know it was a surgeon that was, that actually was using or doing the machine, making the machine do what it does. But I didn't know how they
right,
made it do what it does. So that's
right.
interesting to know.
Yeah, we assume that they're just sitting there with a joystick and a monitor, and
Because actually, I did think that. I thought that
you
that's
know,
how they were doing it. I had no clue that they were sticking their physical hands in something to actually, make the machine navigate and do what it does.
yeah. I mean, again, I didn't know either until he explained it to me, and the only reason he knows is because he just had surgery using that process. So,
Wow. That's
but
absolutely brilliant.
again, I mean, technology is going to continue to move forward.
Right.
And it's going to continue. I'm sorry, it's going to continue to eliminate jobs. Because that's what drives technology is profit. People are trying to find easier ways to do things so it doesn't cost as much so they can increase their bottom line.
And so
So
you're speaking of cost. I'm wondering actually how much did it cost to use that machine compared to having the surgeon use his physical hands and do the surgery. I
well, and
wonder
that's
how
another
expensive
thing.
that was.
Now that's another thing when you bring that aspect into it, because these things are less invasive, meaning that they didn't have to cut your whole stomach open and stick their hands up in you. Now
So
they got these little itty bitty incisions that they insert these probes in. So therefore, your body is not susceptible to all of the infections, right?
true, true.
Plus, there's less people in the operating room now, so that
Mm-hmm.
also brings down the risk of infection.
Yeah,
So
eliminates
again,
a whole lot that way too. And I'm sure the healing process is a lot less time than, the allotted time that they would give you if you were surrounded by individuals like you're saying that are passing out the scalpel or the sucking up the blood, or you know what I mean. So
right.
I'm sure that the healing time is probably
Well,
minimal
know
compared to
this,
the four
like
to 6 weeks recovery.
I do know this, like for example, with myself, the surgery I had back in January, they
Mm.
made two little itty bitty incisions that you could actually cover up with a band aid.
Mm.
I mean, they literally were not big enough for a stitch. Okay,
Wow.
they literally use surgical super glue in essence. Okay, to seal those incisions back up. I mean, now when I came home, one of them had a little bit of leakage on it. You know what I'm saying? But I just
Right,
kept
right,
Band-Aid on it, and eventually it stopped the leakage. But
right.
right now you can barely tell where those incisions were. So I mean, I'm grateful for it. I don't know that they used that Da Vinci thing on me. I didn't dig that deep into talking to my doctor. I just, was happy that we were done and everything went okay.
Right.
So, but AI, just like with any other technology, is a relatively new thing, and technology, just like, again, there was a day when we didn't have cars. There was a day when we didn't have all kind of different things. But today we do have all these things, and tomorrow we're going to have a lot more things.
That
You
is
know,
true.
technology is going to continue to grow, and it's going to continue to bring new products to the market, and it's going to continue to eliminate jobs unless we stay on top of the game and retrain ourselves to be able to do the things that are now required versus the things that used to be required. So
True.
anyway,
True.
we are at the end of our day today for Monday. Just a little quick side note again. I just want to make sure everybody understands. Don't look for us Friday because we won't be here. We will be doing our NFB chapter meeting on Friday. So we won't be here. And I got some other Blind United business I need to take care of as well that day. So just adds to the reason I just won't be able to do the show. But anyway, if you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, follow, comment, share. Whatever it is you can do on whatever platform you're checking us out on. I appreciate it. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps us very, very much. And it allows our information to get out there to more and more people. So anyway, on that note, Carol, I appreciate you, sweetheart. And
Appreciate you.
we will be back again tomorrow at the same time, and we'll have another episode of Coffee Time with Blind United. So until tomorrow morning, everybody enjoy the rest of your magnificent Monday. We'll see you on the next one. Well, I'm not out yet. How could I go out and I'm not even on the end stream button, huh? All right, I'm getting there now. Y'all have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Now we out.